This video is about breaking down the CELPIP speaking. Today we are doing something extremely important for serious CELPIP test takers. Many of you practice every day. You memorize vocabulary, you learn templates, you record themselves repeatedly, and yet when you get your score report, you often wonder, why did I not get level 9 or level 10? The reason is simple. Most candidates focus only on speaking, but CELPIP evaluates much more than your ability to speak. It evaluates how clearly you think, how logically you organize ideas, and how effectively you communicate under pressure. So, in today's video, we are going to analyze a real exam style speaking response. First, I will show you the prompt, then, I'll give you a typical response that sounds decent but still lose marks. And after that, we will carefully break down exactly why it falls short. Then, I'll give you a high scoring version. Okay, let's start now. The prompt here is your close friend has been offered a high paying job in another city. However, accepting the offer would mean moving far away from family and close friends. What advice would you give your friend? You have 30 seconds to prepare and 90 seconds to respond. Are you ready? You can also try by yourself. Well, if I were you, I would definitely accept the job offer because high salary is very important for having a successful life. Good opportunities like this do not come very often. So I think it would not be wise to reject it. Also, moving to another city can help you meet new people, gain new experiences, and become more independent. Even though it might be difficult to leave family and friends, I think they will understand and support your decision. You can always call them or visit them during holidays. So, overall, I strongly believe that you should accept the offer because it will help you build a better future. Now, at first, this response sounds fairly good because it's very fluent, right? The response, what I've given you. There are no major grammar mistakes. The vocabulary is understandable. The ideas are relevant. So, why is this still not getting a high scoring response? Because CELPIP is not looking for surface level fluency alone. I'll tell you, okay? Make a note of it. The first problem here is I immediately assumed that salary equals success. That's a very narrow perspective, isn't it? A high scoring CELPIP response demonstrates balanced reasoning. The evaluator wants to hear evidence that you can think critically about multiple factors. For example, what about emotional well being? What about work life balance? What about the cost of living in the new city? What if the job environment is unhealthy? The response ignores these important considerations. So, this makes it sound simplistic rather than analytical. And the second problem is I said good opportunities do not come often. That sounds fine. But why? What makes this opportunity valuable? I didn't tell that, right? How should the friend evaluate whether it is truly worth taking or not? The answer I have given without supporting the reason was not a proper conclusion, right? Usually, high level response explain ideas clearly and logically. And the third problem is the advice is too absolute. That means I said I would definitely accept the offer. This sounds impulsive. Strong advice responses usually sound thoughtful and measured. Good speakers acknowledge uncertainty and recommend careful evaluation. That demonstrates maturity in communication. Okay? Now, let me give you my ARE method. Whenever you get an advice question, structure your response like this. A for acknowledge the dilemma. Show that you understand both sides of the issue. And R for review practical considerations. So you have to analyze important factors logically. And E explain recommendation logically. So you have to give clear, balanced advice with reasoning. This structure makes your response sound organized, thoughtful, and professional. Now, let me give you another response. Listen carefully. If I were advising you, I would encourage you to take some time to carefully evaluate both the professional benefits and the personal sacrifices involved before making your final decision. On the positive side, this opportunity could significantly improve your financial stability and help you advance your career more quickly. A higher salary a higher salary may allow you to build savings, gain valuable experience, and open doors to even better opportunities in the future. However, relocating to another city is not a decision that should be made lightly. Moving away from family and close friends can be emotionally challenging, especially if you rely on them for emotional support and connection. In addition, it would be important to research practical factors such as the cost of living, workplace culture, long term growth potential within the company. My advice would be to compare the long term advantages with the personal challenges. If the job offers meaningful career development and if it aligns with your long term goals, then I would recommend accepting it. At the same time, I would suggest creating a plan to maintain strong relationships with the loved ones through regular visits, video calls, and intentional communication. In my opinion, personal growth often requires stepping outside your comfort zone, but major decisions should always be made thoughtfully and strategically. You can notice the difference here, right? So, this response sounds much stronger because it demonstrates several key scoring features. I considered both benefits and challenges. So, this shows maturity and critical reasoning. And each point is explained properly. The ideas are expanded logically. Nothing feels rushed or underdeveloped, right? If you see the language tone, it sounds natural, confident, and thoughtful. It does not sound memorized or robotic. The response follows a clear progression, understanding the dilemma, evaluating the factors, giving practical advice, concluding thoughtfully. This is exactly what evaluators want to hear. Here is something many students misunderstand. They believe that using difficult vocabulary automatically increase their score. That's not true. A response with simple vocabulary but strong reasoning will always score better than a response with fancy vocabulary but weak thinking. Now, take this practice challenge. You have to pause the video and respond to this prompt. Your younger sibling wants to start a business immediately after graduation instead of accepting a stable corporate job. What advice would you give? You have to use the ARE framework. So remember to acknowledge the dilemma, review practical consideration, explain your recommendation, then listen to your response carefully. You have to ask yourself, did I consider multiple perspectives? Did I support my advice logically? Did my response sound organized? So this is how you train for level 9 plus. So if this breakdown helped you to understand what separates average responses from high scoring ones, you have to comment below as I'm learning to think critically for CELPIP. And in the next video, we will break down another real exam response and show you exactly how to transform it to a top scoring answer. That's all for today's video. Kindly like, share and subscribe for more CELPIP tips. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.